All dungeon masters want their NPCs to be memorable and well liked by the party, or well hated depending upon if they're good or not. How do we do this? How do you create an NPC that your party will love or hate, but remember 20 sessions, 30 sessions down the road? It all starts with a couple simple steps. And that's what today's DM tips video is all about. How do we create an NPC? When creating an NPC, I start with the basics, the core of the NPC. Species, age, gender if any, and occupation. These questions will drive choices you make later on and may actually help make them better because you'll have an idea of what the NPC is supposed to be overall. Will the NPC be the leader of the Thieves Guild? Will it be a shopkeep? Will it be the Duke, the right hand of the Queen? Each one of those will drive different questions and answers and will have you look at different things for that NPC. If you notice, I did not mention anything about name. Name is a special consideration that will be answered later in this video, and you'll see why. And anybody who's ever watched an actual play or actually sat behind the screen knows what we're going to be talking about when it comes to names. Now that you have the basics figured out, you can look towards the motivation of the NPC. What drives this NPC? Why does this NPC get out of bed every day? Is it to sell items? Is it to steal things from people? Is it to have dastardly plans and pretend to be the Duke? It all depends. And what you decide will determine how they interact with the party. So once you have motivation, age, species, etc. figured out, now you know how that NPC is going to interact with the party. They may hate adventurers because every time they come into the tavern, they break up tables and beat up the patrons. Or every time they come into the shop, they're always demanding lower prices. Or they may be a friendly NPC that loves seeing adventuring parties and all the gold they bring. So all those go hand in hand for how the NPC will be with the party. Once you have the NPC created, now you can figure out where and when will they appear to the party. Are they something for the next town they're going to hit? Is it something for the town right now? Or is it just an NPC you're keeping off to the side, ready to plug and play when the players go left when you expect them to go right? That is key to what drives the story and what drives the NPC. The memorable NPCs are ones that have a purpose, that have a set place in the world, that have lore, if any, and a reason to be in the world. There's a reason the party is going to them. It's not just some random shopkeep they're going to. They're going to the shopkeep because they have this one item. Or they're going to the Thieves Guild because they have the location of this one person the party's looking for. When you have a reason for the party to interact with the NPC, it really clears up in your mind and for the players that this NPC is somebody important. It's not just a throwaway. Now, not every NPC is going to be the most memorable character you've created for the party. They're not all going to be Victor from Critical Role. But if you can make it to where the party enjoyed interacting with them, even if the interacting went sideways, but they enjoyed it. It was a fun role-playing moment. It was a fun 15 minutes at the table. If they have to go back to that player, to that person, to the NPC later, will they look forward to it? Will they hate it because, oh man, we got to go back and talk to that grumpy old bastard again? Oh, why? It's all good. If they remember the NPC, that's all that matters. And giving them a good reason to go to them just helps that happen. Before we continue, let's hear from our old buddy Advertising Rich and today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Only Crits. Do you love sharp-edged dice? What about dice with things inside of them like ducks? What about metal dice, both solid and hollow? How about mystery bags of dice? I know I can't resist those mystery bags of dice at my friendly local game store. I just always have to buy one when I pop in. What about dice trays and dice cases? Well, Only Crits has you dice goblins and dice dragons taken care of. They have everything you can ever want when it comes to dice, and each one of us can always use more dice in our lives. So, click the link in the description to go to Only Crits, let them know the Laughing Tavern sent you, and enter the code MIZOCRITS at checkout for 10% off your order. Thanks to Only Crits for sponsoring this video. Thank you as always, Advertising Rich. Now that we have the NPC, we have why you're going to use them, where you're going to use them, if you know. Now we need a name. As we all know, names can be a funny thing. Names written down on paper look differently than what they sound. Be sure to sound out all the NPCs you create. Say it multiple times. Try to think of different ways they can be said. Have somebody else repeat the name back to you after you say it. After all, you know what the name is supposed to be. You have the name written in front of you. So read it to somebody and have them tell you what the name was. We've all watched Critical Role and seen Matt's NPCs' names get just ripped to shreds, especially when you have the permanent 13-year-old Laura Bailey at the table. It's not just Matt's table that it happens to. It happens to all of us. I created an NPC, a legendary dwarven bard that was the last owner of this item, and in my game, in order to attune to a legendary item, you have to convince the previous owner in a vision to give you the item. The name of the NPC was Rollmit Grimmaster. I spent 20 minutes looking over this name, reading it to myself, saying it out loud multiple times, intentionally trying to flub it, only to have his name now Walnut Grillmaster. Now, I'm not sure if I mispronounced it at the table or one of my players just ran with it, but to this day now, I cannot say Rollmit Grimmaster without going very slow and focusing on each word. If I say it fast, I normally say either Rollmit or Walnut, and either Grimmaster or Grillmaster. Names suck. But I know we all want to get fancy with names and make these weird, phonetically spelt, convoluted names to make them memorable. They won't be memorable for that. One, chances are your players may not be able to say it without it having written down in front of them. And two, players won't do that. Players will make the name whatever they need to in order to remember your NPC. It's just a fact of life. So, don't spend too much time on names, but don't make them all Dave either. You want to make them unique to the species, unique to your world, but in such a way that they're not a running joke at the table for the entire campaign. I mean, those are great. It's awesome. Walnut Grillmaster. See? Can't do it. Walnut Grillmaster will probably be an NPC name or a PC I play at some point in the future. It has to be, right? So enjoy it. Run with the names. Just read them out loud and have somebody else read them. That's all I can tell you. When it comes to NPCs, being prepared with some is always better. I have a list of it's Chris Perkins' name list that he uses. I have a printout when I cross out names. I make up NPCs on the fly based upon whatever town they happen to be in or what business they need to be in. You know, dwarves are bartenders and blacksmiths. Elves tend to be magic shop owners. It's a little stereotypical, but it works for a reason. But I also try and mix it up a little bit. But the ones I create ahead of time, I try to flesh them out like I would a PC. Come up with why are they in this town? What do the party need from them? What will it take for the party to get that from that NPC? Will it take skill rolls? Will it take persuasion, deception? Will they send them on a quest somewhere? NPCs are always great for side quests. I'll give you this item if you go and get me this. I've used it multiple times recently in my own campaign. It's awesome, and it fleshes out the world. You don't need to do voices. You don't need to do accents. If you do, write them down so you can make sure you use the same one for the same NPC later on. I don't do voices. I try. There's a couple characters I do it. I have a hard time maintaining it in the same conversation, let alone 20 sessions from now. The ones I do are because there's only a couple I do. They're not needed. You are not a professional voice actor, I assume. If you're watching me, you're not a professional voice actor. You don't need to be. You don't need to have different voices at the table for your NPCs. Voices don't make them memorable. They can help. Look at Victor from Critical Role. Perfect example. When a DM of mine busted out Victor in our home campaign, I instantly asked who that was, thinking my DM created it, and then he told me about Critical Role, and here I sit 7 years later loving Critical Role. So yes, they do help. They're not needed. The storyline, the interaction between the NPC and the players is what's more important than any voice. What's going to be memorable is the interaction that the players have, good or bad. My players hate the Duke, who was the right hand of the princess, more than they hate the BBG because of those interactions. Because he's almost killed players. Because he sacrificed the halfling NPC family. It wasn't the Duke himself. He was nothing special. But it was the interactions that that NPC had with the party that makes the NPC memorable or not. So, please, check out my mini paint series if you haven't. I've live streamed 3 episodes so far where we painted a froghemoth start to finish. Please, check it out. Check it out every Sunday from now. I may have something happening in the future where I may have to shift that time of the mini paint streams, which I hope to do more of. Check out the other videos on his channel. As always, like and subscribe, please. Really helps. Inching closer. I'm almost to 330, so I'm trying to get to 500 here in the next couple months. Just slowly inching up. As always, be nice to each other, accept each other, and love each other.